Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Powerful on Purpose, where we talk to amazing, brilliant women who are really using their story to not only build businesses, but change people's lives, create missions that are bigger than themselves, and just really bring good into the world. Because I think we could all agree there's not enough of that, right? We can never have enough of that. I am your host, Leslie Capps. I am the creator of Author in 30, where it is our goal to take all the content you have and help you easily and quickly get it out in the world and use your book as a business tool. Today, I'm excited to share with you our guest because I think this is going to be a great conversation. And today I have Scarlett Stanhope with me, and she is known as the Biz Hippie. She teaches coaches to conquer their finances and own their worth so they can be fully supported by the work they love. Scarlett harnessed the power of money to break free from her workaholic career path and pursue her dreams. She uses a combination of tangible money management strategies as well as a variety of coaching techniques to help her clients transform their mindset in relationship to money, allowing them to strategically achieve their goals and live their best lives. So welcome, Scarlett.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so pumped to be here and really looking forward to having this conversation today.
Cool. Great. Well, I always start with everybody, one, tell us what you're doing, but what really was that story for you to say, ooh, because you kind of pull multiple things together. I think I can create a business out of this and help other people.
Yeah, absolutely. So hello, everybody. It's great to meet you. My name is Scarlett Stanhope, aka the Biz Hippie, and I am a financial empowerment coach for creative entrepreneurs. So I help entrepreneurs to transform their relationship with money from the inside out so that you can support yourself financially with the work that you love. Because so often money can be the thing that holds us back from doing the work we want to do, living the lives we want to live. And so I help my clients to change their mindset around money, but also learn how to manage and get in control of their money so that you can build your most abundant life and business. And how I got into this specific niche and doing the specific work that I do comes from my own story, my own personal growth journey. Because growing up, I was the type A high achiever perfectionist. I was the straight A student. I was also the 8-year-old with migraine headaches from all the pressure and the stress that I was under. And this patterning bled into my young adulthood. By the time I was 20, I had been managing restaurants since I was 18, working crazy hours, paying for college out of pocket, having no student loans, getting my bachelor's degree in business management, accounting, and finance, maintaining my 3.9 GPA, had no credit card debt, and had $30,000 in savings. So on paper, I was checking all of the success boxes, and I was on track to continue and maintain that success. On paper, it looked like I was doing everything right, but inside was a totally different story. I literally felt like a zombie walking through my own life, feeling like I was on this never-ending hustle hamster wheel and hoping that someday I would cross some magic finish line that says, you've done it, you've arrived, and now you can start to live a life that you want to live. And so it took hitting a really hard rock bottom to wake up and realize that life was passing me by and that finish line that I was hoping to cross would never come, and that my whole life would pass me by much faster than I expected unless I started to get in control of my life now. And that's when money and success stopped holding me back. And I started to tap into what's important to me. What do I care about most? What kind of life do I want to live? What kind of impact do I want to make? And instead of money stopping me from creating that life and keeping me on this misaligned path, what if instead I actively started living that life right now, today? And what if money could be a tool to help me create that life? And that's when I began that journey for myself. And now that's exactly what has led me to help my clients do the same.
Sure. That's great. All sorts of gold nuggets in there. So I guess the one thread that stood out to me is it sounds like really you had a story about money and success, right? And had to maybe rethink that. And I assume that's part of what you also help other people do is identify and then change that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was really interesting because people looked at me at that time and thought that I had a great relationship with money. But even though there was like, okay, I'm doing the tangible things that indicate I have a good relationship with money and I have some good financial skill sets, my actual money story was one rooted in scarcity and lack and not enoughness. And you just have to do these things you don't want to do in order to be a responsible adult and make money. And you can't make money doing something you love, and go do the realistic thing. And those stories of money and success that really attached to my sense of self-worth is what kept me on this misaligned path for a long time. And I had to break free from that money story big time in order to shift into a truly healthy relationship with money.
Sure. And I'm kind of curious how you deciphered it was the money story. Because really, based on your story, right? Because you said life is passing me by, but you had money because you had 30,000. So like outwardly, I'm guessing if I was listening to this conversation, I would think, well, why does she have a money story? Because she had money. So help us connect the dots there.
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I think this is a common misconception. So I will say within my own journey, it wasn't obvious at first, and it was something that did unfold over time. And at the same time, looking back, it is very clear to me now that this was a money issue, because your money story or your relationship with money is not about the amount of money that you have. It's about how you think about money, how you feel about money, and how you use money. So on paper, you can actually be someone that has money and have a horrible relationship with money, where you feel stressed out, where you feel like you never have enough, where you feel like you have to work harder and do more and hustle and check more boxes, and hopefully someday you'll stop barely scraping by. Or on the flip side of that coin, you can be somebody that actually has very little money, but you feel safe, you feel satisfied, you know you're content, you know things are okay. Money's not stopping you from living the life that you want to live. Money's not controlling your life and telling you what you can do or can't do or should do. And so even though, yes, I had money, money had control over me, because money was deeply attached to my definition of success. And that definition of success was directly tied to my sense of self-worth. And I believed that I needed to make a certain amount of money. I needed to get a certain job title. I needed to work in a certain career in order to be deemed a worthy, successful, responsible adult. And so even though I had the money, the way that I felt in my life was not abundant. And that comes down to a relationship with money issue.
Sure. So what's the biggest money, I don't know if we want to use block or mindset issue that people come to you for? Is there one that you see all the time?
Absolutely. In the work that I do, I help my clients to identify what I call the 3 scarcity seeds. And these are the 3 primary common scarce-based beliefs that everyone has some degree of. They're just prevalent in our society. We are all taught this in some way or another, and they show up differently for different people, and some relate more to one than others. But for the most part, we all deal with and have to overcome these 3 scarcity seeds. The first one is not enoughness. This is the belief that there is not enough to go around. Not enough water, not enough resources, not enough time, not enough money, not enough daylight hours, right? This is the belief that life is a pie and there are only so many slices to be had. And once those slices are had, they're going to run out, and maybe someone's not going to get one. And based off of that, this belief of not enoughness is what kicks us into survival mode. It kicks us into competition and jealousy and judgment. Like, all of those beliefs and perspectives come from the scarcity seed of not enoughness. The second scarcity seed is unworthiness. If not enoughness is the external version, unworthiness is the internal version. So not enoughness is I don't have enough. Unworthiness is I am not enough. If life is a pie and there's only so many slices to be had, then who's to say that I'm deserving of one? Especially when, if I get a slice or take a slice that's too big, maybe someone else won't get any. And so who's to say that I deserve that? And then the third and final scarcity seed is starving artist syndrome. This is a belief of either or. I can do the work that I love, or I can make money, but not both. And these three beliefs combined is what can hold us back from living our most abundant lives, prevent us from attracting money, having money, holding money, from being able to pursue our businesses and career paths that we're passionate about and excited about, and just genuinely feeling safe and stable and abundant when it comes to our money. Yeah, so I primarily work with coaches, healers, creative entrepreneurs, artists. This work definitely applies to everybody. And I especially love doing this with the creative entrepreneur because when you work a standard 9 to 5 job, you actually don't really notice a lot of what's going on with your relationship with money. There are some things that are very obvious and prominent, but when you step into the world of entrepreneurship and what you're selling is some kind of heart centered service, what you're doing is you're putting your own sense of self worth on the line. You're also changing your dynamic of safety and survival. And so entrepreneurship becomes a pressure cooker of personal growth, and it brings to light any cracks that you have in your relationship with money. And your business is a money making machine. So if you have any blocks around your relationship with money, it's going to bleed into your business massively. And so I find the work that I do with my clients lays the foundations to being able to go full time in your business.
Sure. That's great. That's great. So maybe give us a little insight. Like, what does your best life look like now that you have kind of unraveled the money code, if we can use that terminology?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I definitely had to redefine my definition of success and abundance. And so to me, the general definition of abundance is being able to live a life you love without money holding you back, starting right now today. And so for me, that looks like getting to pursue my business full time, getting to serve clients and really do this work that I'm passionate about and make the kind of impact that I want to make on the world. And at the same time, getting to enjoy my life starting right now. And so pursuing activities that light me up, whether it's recording podcast interviews or traveling the world and attending retreats, getting to invest in myself, my continued education, whether that's personal development or business development, getting to say yes to opportunities that pop up seemingly out of the blue. It was nearly 2 years ago that I had the random opportunity to basically go live on a sailboat for an indefinite amount of time. And for 2 months, I worked on my business while sailing down the east coast of the United States. So to be able to say yes to whatever opportunities show up, getting to value the things that are most important to me and live in alignment with my values, and being able to have my business be the machine that supports and creates that life for me. Yeah. And this is really important because actually bringing awareness to your relationship with money is the first step to stepping into more abundance, because so often we can be caught in just working harder and making more and thinking that once we have more, things are going to be different. But if we don't have a solid, healthy relationship with money, more doesn't matter. So we really have to bring awareness to that relationship with money first. And how we do that is by knowing that your relationship with money is made up of three things. It's how you think about money, it's how you feel about money, and it's how you use money. So we can start to bring awareness to these three different areas rather than just looking at our bank account and having that be the deciding factor of whether we have a good relationship with money or not. So, what are your primary thoughts around money? What are your primary beliefs? What are the types of words you use? What are the things you say out loud? What are the sentences you say in your head? Is it, I can't afford it. I can't do that. It's too expensive. They're not going to want my price. Like, they're not going to say yes to working for me. I cost too much. Oh, I'm never going to be able to go full time. I can't do it. Things like that. Like, what are the sentences that you use or the thoughts that you have around money? Money's evil. Money's bad. People with a lot of money are greedy. And then what are the feelings that you have around money? What are the types of things that you say yes to spending money on? What are the types of things you say no to spending money on, and why? When you do spend money, how do you feel about that money spent? Do you feel guilty? What about when you look at your money? When you open your bank account, what do you feel then? What are the present emotions? Do you avoid it altogether? Do you feel weight on your shoulders and pain in your chest? What are the primary emotions that you have attached to receiving money, spending money, having money, looking at money? And then the third piece is, how do you use your money? And do you even have awareness around what is actually going on with your money? Do you have resistance to looking at your numbers, knowing what's actually going on, opening your bank account, seeing your money clearly? Do you have resistance or avoidance to tracking it? That's a very big indicator that we're actually missing out on the opportunity of really harnessing the power of our money versus seeing your money really clearly, knowing exactly what is going on with it and being in control of it. So when we break it down into these three areas of think about, feel about, and using our money and just bringing more awareness there, that's when we can start to unwind the bigger picture of your relationship with money.
Great. Well, this has been like a masterclass.
I'm all about delivering the value. I mean, we all deal with money in this world and we're often not taught these things. So it's really
Sure.
important, I find, to learn this sooner rather than later, especially for entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know you had a free gift for the audience. You want to take a couple minutes and explain that or give us a little insight into what they would get?
Yeah, absolutely. And so this actually ties great into your last question, which is how do you bring more awareness to your relationship with money? And I actually have the perfect tool to help you do that. So I have a free quiz where you can discover your money mindset type because not everyone has the same money mindset or the same place that they're starting from in their relationship with money. And because of this, we can try a variety of money manifestation techniques and feel like it's not getting us anywhere and wondering why aren't these manifestation techniques working? It's not that the techniques don't work. It's that based on your current relationship with money and your unique money mindset type, there are specific techniques that are going to move the needle forward for you the most. So when you take this quiz, it's super short. It'll take you 2 minutes. You're going to discover your money mindset type and learn a lot of information about your current relationship with money, your challenges, your wins, your benefits, and the specific steps for you and where you are starting from that are going to move the needle forward the most so that you can automatically start to increase your relationship with money and cultivate more abundance based on where you're currently starting from right now. So you can take that free quiz on my website, thebizhippie.com/quiz.
Right. And we'll put that in the show notes as well, everyone. Where can people find you online? Where can they connect with you if they want more information?
Absolutely. So there's some information on my website. I'm also very social on Instagram. That is my primary platform. And I have my own podcast as well called the Empowered and Abundant podcast, which is available on all podcast platforms. And that's where I talk so much more about all of the things that we talked about today. And on Instagram, you can find me at the Biz Hippie.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much for bringing it and all and laying it on the table for us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody else, be sure and subscribe because you don't want to miss more conversations where not only you get great value, but you hear a little bit of how people use their skills, their story to really build a business and change the world.